Welcome back to the Contractor Marketing Show. I'm your host, Matt Thibeau, and today we are sitting down with Kaitlyn Young, and she's got a business called The Social Media Doctor. How's it going, Kaitlyn?
Going good. Great to be here, Matt. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, I was just saying that we've kind of been in similar circles. I've seen you around, and we have some mutual friends, and I'm glad that I finally got to get you on the podcast today. So let's jump right into it. Guys, I'm excited to have Kaitlyn here on the show because we're going to talk all about organic marketing on social media. Kaitlyn and her team specialize in helping contractors with social media on the organic side. So if you guys don't know, from our previous conversations, like there's the paid side of social media where we're like paying ads to get in front of prospects. And then there's just like, posting. And Kaitlyn is very good at doing this. I've been following her for a while. Been seeing like some of the stuff that you've been doing. So I'm excited to jump into things here. So we'll start things off with just like, kind of a broad question. But what we'll do is we'll just say like, why does social media matter for contractors?
Oh my gosh. So I could talk about this for days, but it's establishing yourself as the authority, establishing yourself as the expert. So if you are not posting consistently, if you think about people that go to Google for Google reviews, right? It is shown that 83% of people that either have a phone conversation, go to Google, check the same people's social media. So if they go to your social media and there's no presence, there's no reviews there's no like personalized client experience being, shown, no before and afters, none of that happening, they're going to go, they're not really like showing themselves here. That must mean they're not reputable, right? Even if you're like the most reputable, like local person, people are still doing that, what I call a two-step verification process, where they check your socials to see if you are who you say you are. So it's super important to have that verification. It makes the sales a lot easier because they already know you. Especially if you're running ads and stuff, they're going over to that page and they're looking at everything you're posting. And if you're posting consistently, it's going to be like, wow, these guys are always on here. They're always doing things, like they're always helping clients, and you just end up selling them without selling them. I can't count how many times like the contractors we work with, they're like, yeah, we sat down with this person that came through Google. They've been watching our socials and like, we didn't even have to sell. Like they just signed because trust was built.
Yeah, I love that you say that, because it's like that's something that we teach a lot too is, really good marketing kind of makes the sales like not unnecessary, but a lot easier, right? I mean, I would much rather talk to someone who knows who I am and has been seeing like our content, and we've kind of spent this time up front to provide value and trust. So then when we're on the phone with them, it's like, they feel like they almost know me, right? And a lot of our contracting clients like say the same thing. They're like, oh, like it's cool. Like some people are like, oh, I've been seeing you around, blah, blah, blah. So it's just so much easier, Yeah. So we can dive into some stuff that maybe, you might have seen that like, what are some of the cringy kind of mistakes that a lot of contractors might make on social media? I know I've seen them, but I want to hear them from you.
Ooh. My favorite is when they rely on Canva to do their marketing. So when every single post is a picture perfect, like no mistake graphic, and you have no idea who actually runs the business, you have no idea who actually works there, you have just stock photos of random contractors that don't even work for you, like building things, and you're just like, really? Like
with like the hard hat on.
Yes, the classic hard hat where it's like, okay, obviously this is not you guys. Like I just have to sit back and go, okay, just calm down, Kaitlyn, calm down. But then also the people that they end up using like a million hashtags but no concept to the hashtags. So you'll have like no actual words describing the post. It's just like the graphic and then 30 hashtags with no concept. Like, how are they supposed to know what's going on, And then also people that don't put themselves on video. Like, I know how, cringe it may be to like put yourself out there. But I can
Yeah.
tell you from experience, the more you put yourself out there, put your team out there, that's the other piece, is like, it doesn't have to be you every day. You can have your team members do it too, guys.
Yeah.
But having your videos literally be Canva videos, literally be like that stock footage kind of video vibe, or just showing random pieces with no explanation. It's confusing, and it just makes me want to like yell at you.
Why do you think that stock photos don't work so well?
Because it's not authentic. People can spot it. It's like the same, because when people want to meet, like, let's say you go to a sales appointment and none of the team that are at that sales appointment are anywhere online, they
Yeah.
don't have that trust, right? When the crew comes up to work on the job, like, and none of the crew are the people that are doing the work, it creates like a, well, why aren't you posting
Yeah.
your people? Why aren't you? It creates that separation. That trust is kind of broken, because it's like, you're not who you say you are, right? It goes
Yeah.
back to like how we market, where core values, authenticity are like the forefront. So not only do you want to have your core values in your marketing, you in your marketing, but you also want to have it as authentic as possible, or else people are just gonna be like, you're like anyone else. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing connecting them that says, this is the person I want to go with. It's just like, oh, there's another image.
Yeah. I love that you're saying that, because that's from our experience, is like, anytime you're running ads, if you're doing a stock photo compared to just like a crappy selfie type video of just being like, what's going on, guys? This is Bob here from Example Construction. I just wanted to walk you through a project like, that's going to beat that every day, all day, because
Yeah.
it's what you're saying, it's genuine. And people are like, wow, like, I feel like I know Bob.
Yeah, and people buy from people. Like, that's the thing that contractors forget, is that it's very much a people experience. You're going into their homes to give an estimate usually, right? You're going into their backyards to give an estimate. And so they want to be able to trust that person they're bringing into their home, into their backyard, to show them how, to build their things. And so if you're not having that connection up front, it's just going to create a barrier. Can you overcome the barrier? Yeah, with a good sales process. But why not make that 10 times easier by removing that barrier up front, by having yourself online, by marketing yourself properly, by running ads with yourself on them, like you guys do, right? Like, it will create so much easier sales process, so much better client experience too, because if something goes wrong, if something messes up, like, they already have this, like, we've known Bob for a while online kind of thing, and I know he's going to make it right, because he posted about this kind of experience before, right?
That's true.
Because you don't just post all the positive either. You can post, hey, we had this issue, we made it right with our client.
That's kind of scary though, right?
It is. It's terrifying, but
Yeah.
I can tell you, like, more often than not, people are going to be like, you know what? I remember Bob posting this here, and he took care of that client. So you know what? That little mistake, I know we're going to be okay. And so there's no fear. So it's not just we're going to put content out online and hopefully sell. We're training them on how we operate, how we help our clients and everything as a contractor. Going off on a soapbox rant here.
No, I love it. You mentioned a couple things, like you were talking about value-based marketing and doing that kind of stuff. I put stuff out on our social media, and sometimes people ask me, why are you putting that out there? Like, I'm Christian, so sometimes I'll like show parts of my life that aren't business related, that are very like personal to me. And a lot of people like appreciate that. I get messages, people being like, my dad unfortunately passed away a year ago. And while I was going through that process, I was grieving through social media, being like, today was a hard day. This reminded me of my dad. I miss my dad. I was very open with that. And I was very overwhelmed by people's messages and stuff, just being like, I'm rooting for you, pal. Like, I'm thinking of you, blah, blah, blah. And it was just interesting, because now sometimes when we get on the phone with contractors, they're like, hey man, I want you to know, like, I've been following you for like, a year. I see like everything that's been happening, and I'm proud of you. It's like, this is someone I've never spoken to in my life. So
Yeah.
it's like what you're talking about, right? It's like sometimes it can be weird because from their perspective, they're like, oh, I know Kaitlyn, but you've never met this person before. You know what I mean? So it's like a one-way relationship.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind
Yeah.
of like before we got on this call, you mentioned someone that like had bought some stuff from me that
Yeah.
was product based, and like I never interacted with this person, but I've seen their name around, and
Yeah.
yet they're like talking about me. They're going, hey, and that's because of the fact that we put the value out there, right? It's
Yeah.
like with your dad. It's just that, wow, people buy from people. It proves itself over and over again.
So I can just hear a contractor right now. He's like, great. Okay. So I need to put value out there and do all this stuff. But like, where do I post, Kaitlyn? How often do I post? I know that a lot of contractors get tripped up in like the practicality of it. Like, how do I do it? What do I do? So do you want to kind of go practical for some guys listening?
Yeah, absolutely. There's like two sides of the spectrum on there. There's the people that are like, F this, we're gonna just do it. And then there's the people that are like, I have to lay out my exact plan,
So
like
true.
from point A to point B before I post one post.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it is better to put a authentic piece out there, even if it's not completely perfect. Like
Love
if you
it.
don't have the exact like perfect lighting, like you can use a filter, light it a little bit, whatever it is. But to my process that I use is I just base it on my core values. So if you don't have core values, that's the first step. But like when I'm making a post, it has to be aligned with my core values first. So once I have my core values in place, I basically create content around those core values, even if it's not directly. And so what that does is then it lets them know how I operate, like we said before, right? It lets them know how I communicate. It lets them know how I am with my clients, not just online. And so I say once a day at least. 2 times a day would be perfect world, but you guys are business owners. Like if I can get once a day, like we're doing good. We're doing good. I would mix it up. I would do a reel a day, reel one day, regular post, reel regular post, reel regular post. So that way you're getting in front of all different types of audiences, because some people are video people and they will watch a million reels and just scroll that thing. And then there's people that are like, I don't have time for video, and they just want to read the posts, like they're old fashioned and they just want to read the article kind of thing. It's like a newspaper, right? It's like, I just want to sit on the porch and read my newspaper. So definitely mix it up. Don't just go, oh, I'm only going to create this kind. Do both. Like do both types, and don't over stress it. Like when you're first starting out, don't get so wrapped up in what you're posting as much as being consistent. The what you're posting comes after consistency. Otherwise you end up analysis paralysis. You end up sitting there going, oh, I don't know. Like get the consistency part done first.
Love
and then
it.
you can move into the strategy, the pieces that, okay, this is what I'm going to post this day and things like that.
That's so true, because I think that a lot of people get overwhelmed with like perfection, and then they just like don't actually do it. So like in our company, my motto is always like we may not, like from a content perspective, everything we put out might not be like, the nicest looking, the most pretty, like heck, this podcast, like it's not like I have crazy equipment or anything, but the one thing that we have going for us is that we're very consistent. And so just doing that, I think like you're beating out most people, because most people just aren't consistent, like what you were saying. I'm curious of what is your opinion on like quality versus quantity? Like, would you rather see someone go quality, or would you rather see someone put out like, very high number of posts, but they're all kind of crappy?
Quality. As much, like with the consistency part, you definitely need a consistency base. But if you're going to put out 5 posts a day that look absolutely like crap with no like thought put into them, you're not going to get the traction. So that's why I said once a day instead of like a billion times a day, because the thing is that I know that if I have only one post today, that post is going to be the best dang post ever, because that's the only thing I'm concentrating on, right?
Yeah.
It still might not be absolutely perfect because I haven't, maybe like we've never posted before if it's a new contractor, or like posting, or you've never done the social thing. But the point is that focus on doing the one a day, get really good at the quality and consistency with that one a day. And over time, the quality is going to get even better. And then, okay, now that we got that down, then we can add more, right? You can always add more, but you can't always go back and fix the post once it's out there. So definitely a quality over quantity thing.
Yeah. And where should contractors be posting and doing social?
Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok is huge for contractors right now because it's very visual, just like Instagram. If you're posting job site photos, like videos and photos, because TikTok does photos now. But if you're posting those kind of things where it's like, okay, ASMR, so like, satisfying noises of like you guys building, like those do amazing. Because people love hearing like satisfying sounds, and so you hammering, as weird as that is, like people find that satisfying and they like binge watch those videos. And so ASMR videos, time lapses, like you and your guys at the job having lunch with your crew, there's so many different things that you can do on there. And so very visual on those. For Facebook, same kind of thing. Again, you can do photos and videos on all of them. But yeah, 100%, those would be the three top that I would say.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. What are some, like we've talked a little bit about it, but what are some things that a contractor should be posting? Like specifically, what are some things they should be like, okay, like if I had to have a list, Kaitlyn was going to help me put together a list of things that I should be posting every now and then. Like, what is that list?
Yeah, so testimonials, but not just the pretty Canva graphic testimonials. We're talking video testimonials. Stand on the porch with your customer, maybe include it as like you get $10 off or whatever deal, like if you do this video testimonial, incentivize them if you have to in some way, and get that video testimonial, because it's going to make you money. Like it's going to be a ROI, 100%. So video testimonials do great. Post on the job site before, during, and after, not just before and afters, but during the job. Like this is our guys working out there. Again, get pictures of your actual crews, because what that's going to do is build trust. Like these are the people that will show up at your job. And then also posting Q&A, like, okay, what does our process look like? Where are our core values? What should I do to maintain my deck during the winter? Like different things like that are going to educate, right? You can do them in video form with you talking, do a Canva graphic here and there, just don't overdo it. There's different things that you can do. There's so many different options. And then do this is the project we just finished, check it out kind of posts, and just show off your work, like show off your process, show them the behind the scenes of, this is what it takes for us to get from point A to point B to getting your project complete. Show it all.
Yeah, no, I love what you were saying, like about the video testimonials too. Like a video testimonial is probably like the best type of testimonial you could get, because it's the hardest to fake. Like, when we do a lot of landing pages for clients where we're running ads to, and a lot of contractors on their website, they'll have like a wall of text, and then the name will say like Sandra P. And it's like, how do I know that you didn't just make that up? And like, a lot of people like think that now. So when you have a video testimonial, it's the hardest to fake, right? Because it engages all the senses. So I couldn't agree with you more. Like, I would say a video testimonial by far. Something that I tell clients, like we do a lot on our social media, is we'll like screenshot any kind of like text that we get from a client where they say, oh, I'm just so like I'm amazed and like impressed by it. Like screenshot it and be like, oh, I'm so grateful that we get to work with clients. Like I've seen you do stuff like this as well.
Yes, exactly. Like anything like that, screenshot it and post it. Put in your stories. Like nothing else, just put it in your stories. Like that's another place that contractors don't utilize very much, is they're, oh, it's just like Snapchat, no one's on it. But you get more views in those little stories than you think you do, and more sales come from there than people think.
So when we're talking about video and like putting ourselves out there and stuff like that, I would say that there's probably one of the biggest hurdles is not how do I do this, or like what do I do, or where do I post. It's literally just getting over it and posting it and like actually putting yourself out there. Because I know a lot of contractors are listening to this and they're like, but guys, I'm not extroverted, or like I hate the way I am on video, or I
Or
don't
I'm
want
going to sell the company, so I don't want to be the face of the brand. That's my
yeah.
favorite one. That's my
That's
favorite.
good, actually. What's your take on that?
So, in a very nice words, I say, "Suck it up, Buttercup." Um, just saying. But no, what I say is, if I were to come over to your house and just walk in the door without knowing me, like you would be put off, right? Like that's my first question. And they'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't let a stranger in my house. I'm like, but you're asking people to let strangers in their house every single day. So if you want to ease that, right? If you want to ease that trust, you're going to have to put yourself out there and have your guys put yourself out there. That's the other piece is it, don't make it just the, Bob show, make it about your team. Because here's the thing is that, yes, even if you want to sell your company and you're like, I don't want to be the face because then I'm attached to the asset, like, okay, make your team a part of it. Make it a community thing. Make it a family thing. Because at the end of the day, it's all going back to people trust people. People buy from people. And if you're not putting yourself out there, you are going to lose to the person that does every time. You are going to lose to the person that is willing to put themselves out there. It is awkward at first. So what I tell people is, okay, do a video this week. One. That's all I ask. Do one this week. Okay, great. Next week, we're going to do 2, and we work them up to it, right? Some people, we have to go as far back as we're just taking a video of our feet walking because I will not put my face on the camera.
Yeah.
Right? And that's okay. Like, if that's where you need to start, great. Start there. Do that for a few weeks. Then, okay, we're going to talk on the video as we walk. Not showing our face, but we're showing the job site, right? But we're talking about what's going on in the background. Awesome. We're a step closer. Then we move to, oh, look, our face is actually on the camera. You don't have to jump from doing nothing to going all in at once because overwhelm happens. It's easy to get overwhelmed. Start with the baby steps, work yourself up, okay? But don't make the excuse of, oh, I'm going to sell my business or, oh, I don't want to be the face of my company because that's a cop-out. If you want your team to follow you and if you're wanting them to make video, then you have to be a leader and step up and make video too. You have to show them how it's done. That's how leadership is done. So start making video and then, have your team make video with you. And in the process, they're going to be like, you know what, I need to make this video because, Bob, our owner here, he does video. And so I need to do it too.
I love it. That's really cool. What would you say is like, how should you divvy it up, the split between posts on social media that are like more salesy, where it's like, hey, work with us, this is our company here, like get a quote, compared to some of the stuff that's like value based and like, talking about values and more of like the branding stuff and not so salesy? Because I'm a direct response marketing guy. So kind of everything that we do is like get a quote, move forward, do this. And I sometimes have to like remind myself on my social media stuff is like, okay, like this post doesn't need to have an ask. So I'm curious. Yeah.
So I do every 4th post is a call to action. Every 4th post is an ask on it. Sometimes we do more often, but they're soft. They're like, follow us, right? Or something where it's not like we're asking for their money or like this post, comment below, right? There's soft asks and then there's the hard asks. And so I really encourage like mixing it up between entertaining, entertaining the audience, educate the audience, emotion provoking, you know, you can build emotion by telling a story about how you helped a client that, you know, is really struggling. They were afraid of getting hurt because this wasn't fixed, right? You provoke that emotion. There's another one. And then the call to action. Those are 4 different types of posts that you can do. And then you're mixing it up enough where you're not seeming like the spam artist, where you're just like constantly asking for the sale.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, entertaining post doesn't mean just posting memes all the time.
Oh my gosh. Yes, yes. Entertaining can be multiple things. It can be you and your guys, like, you know, doing something funny at the job site, like a video. It can be like a funny, like, Taylor Swift parody of what you're doing. Like, it can be other things than just I'm gonna go on Meme-matic and make a meme, and then here we go, I have my entertainment for the day.
Like I've gone to some guys' pages and they've literally like resorted to just basically being like a clown. Like it's all just memes. I'm like, okay, but like, where's the pictures of your work and stuff? You know what I mean? That's like, you can really screw that part up too. And sometimes it's funny because you can't see the forest and the trees. You know what I mean? Like, so that's no, that's really good. I mean, when I think of social media, I just think of like everything that we're talking about is like providing the consistent proof, you know, adding a lot of value. I mean, from my experience on social media and like building a following and having people follow me, like I think something that's been a big game changer is really actively trying to engage a community. Like when people comment on stuff and like really trying to build a community and make people feel like they're part of that. So that's something that we try really hard. Like, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's the other mistake that I should have brought up, is that people will schedule a post in their post thing and be like, okay, we did it, we're done. They don't go in and they don't engage with their audience. And so then they're wondering why no one's commenting, why no one's liking, because you're not present on the platform.
And they can like feel that.
Yes, it's an energy thing. Believe it or not, like you can feel the energy if someone's active on the platform or not. And so the thing is like if you're constantly in there engaging, like if someone does comment, you're asking them a question back instead of just saying, great job. But you're asking them a question like, hey, yeah, this is actually how we handle it. What do you think about that? Right? Like, so then they respond again. Having a Facebook group, you know, where you can be like, you know, for contractors, I even recommend this, having like a, let's say, Omaha Facebook group where, you know, you're able to connect with other business owners in the area and just provide value in that group. You create a community where you're like, yeah, this is where all the people in Omaha hang out, right? And so then it becomes a like exclusivity thing and everybody gets FOMO, right? Like you always get those like fear of missing out kind of thing. So, you know, creating that, them feeling like they're part of the club, them feeling like they're just not just a number on social media or a contact, but they actually are human and like that they feel like they're being valued in exchange. Yes.
What's your opinion on ChatGPT when it comes to social media?
Oh, we're gonna go down that rabbit hole. So I am not against it completely. I think that it is a useful tool. Let me get that straight through everybody's heads. It is a tool. It is not the scapegoat for your content. It is not the scapegoat for not creating authentic content, for creating unique content. Using it to like transcribe a video and help write a post from that, sure, because it is your voice, right? It is like you're taking your voice and just putting it in words. Great. But if you are like, hey, ChatGPT, I need a post on this deck thing, and you just copy paste it with the little asterisks because you didn't even remove those. No. People that you will, it's becoming more and more apparent to those that are putting, the separation is happening of those that are using it as a tool and are still making their personal brand, and those that are looking for the easiest way to get the result instead of putting in the work. Anytime I have ever looked for the easiest way out, it has bit me in the butt. It has dropped me on my butt. And it is the same with this. If you rely on ChatGPT to engage with your audience, because they have chats now that do that, if you rely on ChatGPT to post for you, you rely on it to make a graphic for you, you do all that, you're going to miss the part that we talked about. People buy from people. You're going to miss the authenticity. You're going to miss all the pieces that are separating competition. You are going to end up at the bottom, and the people that are still putting in the effort that it takes to grow are going to keep rising. We've seen it, and it's going to just keep getting more apparent who is who.
100%. I definitely agree with that. I always cringe when it's ChatGPT when you see like the emojis and stuff too. And it's like you can tell that they don't know how obvious it is, and like their social media is all full of that. I actually think that this era, people are going to look back on a lot of these posts and cringe because it's going to be as obvious as like how we cringe at, old school hairstyles and stuff. We're like, what were they thinking? I think we're going to see the early start of AI. It's going to be super cringy down like 5-10 years from now because people are going to be like, oh, that's so obviously AI. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. It already is starting to be like it's hilarious. Like I look back at some people's posts and things like that, and I'm seeing so many people. They're like, "Yeah, I'm an AI expert," and then you look at their post and you can tell it was AI. I'm like, "Yeah, you're such an expert at this." Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that for social media, AI has a lot of potential, especially for maybe like images, like instead of a stock image, maybe now you can get like an image that looks a little bit more original and not like the guy with the hard hat type thing.
Yeah.
Like I can see a lot of potential there, but I think you're right. Like it's just a tool for generating ideas and maybe getting started if you have like writer's block, but you shouldn't be like copying and pasting that and like posting like your posts out with that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you have any other tips for contractors listening to this right now who's just like trying to get their social media to another level and not really sure on like maybe it's one thing they could do or two, just like a couple key things that would really make the difference? What's the 80-20 here?
Yeah. So the 80-20 with posting the different types, but the biggest thing that I would say is just make the post first of all, but then also using hooks at the beginning of your post. A captivating hook, and if you don't know what a hook is, it's basically the first line of any post, and those things, that first line is what tells someone if they're going to read the rest or not. So have a post that says, something captivating where it's like, stop what you're doing if this is you kind of thing, where it like makes them stop and think, or, something that wants to draw them in to read. Like, I messed up is the first line. You're immediately like, oh my gosh, what did they mess up? Right? Like it gets them curious for the rest of the post. It makes them hook on to reading the rest, to watching the video, right? Even in video, like, and not just in the caption, but in the actual video, like having a text pop up where it's like, this is what something that goes, whoa, like just makes them stop the scroll. That can be a huge piece. And a lot of contractors aren't utilizing that. So if you do, you'll definitely stand out.
Yeah, like we teach for ads, you can use an if-then statement. So if you're looking to get your floors refinished, then read this ad. Or you could say like, attention, Omaha homeowners, you can use a couple different tricks to try and get people's attention. But I agree with you. It's like, you definitely want to have some kind of hook for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So other than that, I mean, it's been great having you on the show. Really appreciate you jumping on here and sharing like all these really good social media secrets. Really appreciate you having on here. Is there anything else you'd want to leave the audience with that they should keep in mind, or have we covered pretty much all of the our bases here?
No, those are the main things. I don't want to overwhelm people and them get analysis paralysis.
Well, awesome. Thanks for being on the show. Last thing is, if someone wants to get in touch with you and your team and they want to explore working with you and just learn a little bit more about what you do, where can they follow you and reach out?
Yeah, so I would say you can reach out to me on social media or my team at Social Media Doctor Official, or go to smdoctor.com. We are here to help.
Awesome. Thanks for being on the show, and hopefully we can have you back on another time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.